Good evening, you guys. I am so excited to get us kicked off. It's the first Monday of November 2015, just in case anybody in the future is watching this webinar. And I'm just super pumped for tonight and a fresh new month. I just feel like these webinars not only fuel me, but I always feel the momentum right after we get off of these, and everybody feels renewed and excited with some new tips and tools to really fuel your business. This time of year, I hear it all the time, it's slow. I hate that word. You guys have heard me say that before, that I hate that word. It's because it is what you believe it to be. So if you believe that it's going to be slow this time of year, then it will be slow this time of year. Otherwise, it'll be amazing if you believe it to be amazing. So we're going to kind of talk about that tonight. We have Megan Ewoldsen on with us, and I'm going to introduce her in a few minutes. But I know we have some Fit and Fierce coaches joining us tonight, which is super exciting for me. So hi, you guys. I'm really excited to have the whole gang here. We've got TKO coaches, TeamFITspiration coaches, lots of other branches of Team Fit and Fit and Fierce, and I'm just super excited to share with you guys. We've got the Q&A option open. I have never used that before, so for anyone tuning in, if you know how to use it and you want to ask a question, we'll totally open up for questions later on. I know in my leaders page, I posted a questions thread, so we're going to be hitting some of those questions later on. Everybody wants to know about Megan's social media expertise, so we will get there at the end. But first, we decided we wanted to kind of tell a little bit about each of our stories and keep it really relevant for especially this time of year, but for everybody tuning in, whether you're a brand new coach or maybe you're a diamond or star diamond leader in the business. We want you guys all to get something really great out of this. So here we go. I'm Stephanie Chico. I'm the founder of TeamFITspiration. I signed up as a coach in October of 2012. And so that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to hit tonight. I feel like I was just talking to some of my coaches about this the other day, about the fact that I feel like I'm a kindred spirit with other coaches who get started in the fall. We sort of have a little bit of a rougher start, maybe, I don't know, maybe not. Because you don't know any different. So for all of you who are just joining us right now as coaches, brand new, maybe in the last month or two, I'm so excited for you. I personally think that learning the ins and outs of the business right now and really getting your footing this time of year sets you up for an amazing January, because then you're kind of chugging along in the fall months where everybody else is talking about how hard it is. And you're like, what? This is great. This is easy. And then you get to January and it's like amazing. So this is a really cool time of year to be a coach. Whether you've been a coach for a year or a month, I love this time of year personally. It gives me a chance to really refocus on myself, my personal goals, fitness. This is the time to just be better, take it up a notch. Even if you don't feel like you're reaping the harvest every single day within your business, it's all working. And you just have to really believe that and have faith. We talk about blind faith a lot in our team, and this is the time of year to exercise blind faith, let me tell you. So I'll back up just a little bit. I signed up in October of 2012, like I mentioned, and my first couple months were great. Just like some of you newer coaches, you're in your warm market, you're really feeling that that excitement kind of building, the momentum building, family and friends are maybe jumping on board, maybe not. Maybe you're having to work a little bit harder. But all of those things I feel like really set the tone for the rest of my business. I went Emerald within my first couple of weeks as a coach, which, we all know how to get to Emerald. It's 2 coaches. I signed up my husband, a good friend, and then forced my best friend Paige to sign up. And lo and behold, I was an Emerald. And then November came and I was still really excited. And then December hit and I had every excuse in the book about why I didn't really have to work that hard until the very end of the month. And it was like 2 days after Christmas. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to hit Success Club. And I scrambled around, put that extra pressure. Anybody who's watching, who's been there those last couple days of the month where you're like stressing for Success Club points, I've been there. I know all about that. And just use it as a lesson to never want to feel that again. So that month is the only month that I didn't hit Success Club as a coach, that December 2012. It was a huge lesson for me in my business. I didn't like the feeling of not achieving that goal, and so I never let that happen again. I definitely had some months where I sweated out at the end of the month, but I made it happen every month. And coming into January 2013, I think that's actually when Megan signed up to be a coach. I was like, I am gonna go diamond. I probably told my coach Brandy my plan, and I'm sure she thought I was a little bit crazy at that point because I was just had been sitting at Emerald for 2 months basically, and I was determined to hit that 90-day goal. And I'm gonna bring a little Tony Robbins into this because if you guys follow me on social media, I just went to a Tony Robbins event last week, and it was amazing. But he talked a lot about, he opened it up talking about staying hungry and almost being obsessed. And if you guys are on this webinar right now watching, and maybe you're just in the very beginning of your business and you're like, I want this so bad, my biggest advice to you is to stay hungry for this business. I mean, like being hungry in this business is everything. And I feel like, especially this time of year, these kind of more challenging months where you're really having to work for it, that hunger is what's going to fuel you, because willpower isn't going to do it. You just like willing yourself to do it. Like, I guess I have to post on social media. I guess I need to get my workout done. You got to be hungry. You have to hold on to that why. If you don't have a why, you need to figure out what it is. And that is really what has gotten me from October, or actually December of 2012, when I really figured it out and got that fire lit, until now. So 3 years, and it's all about staying true to yourself and really trying to, not reinvent the wheel, but evolve with the business. We're ever changing in this business. You don't have to stay the same. This is why we do team calls and joint team calls, so we can all learn from one another. And that's the beauty of this network of coaches who really want to share and help one another. And so that's kind of what we're gonna talk about tonight. So I just wanted to keep my story kind of brief because I know Megan is the big deal on this call, at least with my team listening. So I'm gonna intro Megan. Like I said, Megan is a 15-star diamond, currently ranked number 3 in the entire coach network. If you're not really sure how that works, it's really her entire team works for that. So all of the coaches within Team Fit and Fierce are a huge contributor to that. It's hitting Success Club, it's staying committed, it's staying excited and keeping that momentum going. And so Megan and her team have achieved that goal together, and it's really amazing to see, because we got started right around the same time. So it's been so cool. But not only that, I mean, that is amazing, but the fact of the matter is she's also a mom of 3. We both have 3 kids, but she just had her 3rd baby. So she's been in the business almost 3 years and went through her almost entire 3rd year of coaching, pregnant and with a newborn, and achieved those incredible stats with, during pregnancy and with a brand new baby. So, and her husband's in the Navy. I mean, she's just superwoman. This girl does it all. So, no pressure, Megan, but I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm so excited to have you, and I just can't wait to hear what you have to share with us.
Thanks for the intro. So I think I'm just going to kind of start where you left off with the whole pregnancy thing. A lot of people think that, I didn't, I didn't have those reservations about getting pregnant and growing the business, because I was actually very terrified. I was scared. I was worried about how my business was gonna pan out, because you get sick, you don't have energy, and then, you're gonna have to miss workouts. And, I was afraid people wouldn't take me seriously anymore, because my business had started to really kind of take off. And then we were actually planning to have a 3rd baby. That was always the plan, was to have 3 kids, 2 to 3 kids. And I kept putting it off because of the business. And that was just, family first. And I didn't want my business to get in the way of our family planning. So instead of taking a step back, I decided to go ahead and turn what I did have into something that would help me grow the business instead of something that gave me an excuse to not build it, if that makes sense. So, you know, I didn't want to assume that my pregnancy was going to hold me back because, you know, it's such a relatable thing. And I want to get into social media later and, you know, being relatable and building relationships built off of that. But, you know, every sickness, every struggle, every bad day, I shared it. And that is how I, you know, really started to tap into my niche. That's how I started to start new conversations, gain new followers. I was building new relationships because I let my life situations be my business, if that makes sense. So my business was starting to be more settled on the support aspect, because that's what women were coming to my Facebook page for, was, you know, the support through their pregnancy, their postpartum journey. Maybe they're thinking about getting pregnant. That was my market. So my story was growing with my pregnancy, and I was constantly sharing it. And this doesn't have to be, I always tell my coaches, like, it doesn't have to be a life situation like pregnancy. It could be, you know, maybe you're getting a new full-time job, or you're going back to school, or you're on bed rest. Maybe you broke a leg. I don't know what it is, but I think it's very, very important that we're not just sharing the product, but we're sharing our life situations and our lifestyle and how all these new things are coming into play, because those are the things that people are going to want to follow on social media. So, you know, I really want to tell everyone on the call, don't let your struggles make you take a step back from your business, because it's important to share that. Your struggles are your story, because other people are struggling too, and they're going to come to you to figure out how to resolve that, because they look to you for inspiration, because you're putting it out there. Am I going too fast?
No, I love that. And yeah, I just love that you decided once you were pregnant to start just sharing all of it, because, and it is so true, like it relates to anything that we're going through, we can really share, because people are following it. And honestly, I just think that people are naturally kind of nosy, and they want to know what we're doing, and they love following along and being like, you know, just onlookers to the whole journey. So I'll let you keep going before we jump into questions.
Yeah. I mean, it could, you know, it could have gone a different way. I could have said, you know, pregnancy's hard, I'm going to take a step back. But I've learned good and well, like from the first year of coaching, that when you tell yourself, I'm going to take a step back, it becomes like this mental block. And you're basically giving yourself permission to stop being consistent. You're giving yourself permission to stop being creative, like you talked about earlier. You're giving yourself permission to lose sight of why you started, and you're giving yourself permission to quit. I know that's like sounds kind of harsh, but I only say that because, like, I've been there. I have told myself I'm just going to take a step back this month. And as a result of that, like, everything just kind of crumbles. You know what I mean? Like, when I take a step back, it's, it's almost like people come with me, you know, like I'm not present, the energy's not there. It shows, you know, with some people in my team, it shows with my social media, like the energy just isn't there because I've given myself permission to do that, to give it up. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about, well, I had it written down that I was going to talk about, you know, balancing and prioritizing so that we don't get into that state, because, you know, it was a matter of balance and priorities going through a pregnancy and then having the baby and still keeping up with the business. But I think your team probably wants to hear a little bit about how that all worked on social media, how I was, you know, finding new people because I was sharing my story, constantly sharing the pregnancy and working out during pregnancy, and you know, like how that all works, how I meet people, build relationships, what I say to them, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a million questions on social media.
Okay.
I actually have a question for you, because I think it would be kind of cool to start from the beginning of like, because I remember talking with you about like, I think we're ready to have another baby, and it was right around the time, I feel like it was right when it was a new year, maybe. I can't really remember if you were already pregnant or not, but I remember the conversation in the wall, which for anybody watching, it's our 5-star and above group that corporate has for us. And there was a thread about going for top 10. And Megan was like first one to comment. She's like, I'm going for it. I mean, she had been in like the top 20, 15-ish, you know, even the prior year, but it was just that decision. And so I feel like you really put that out into the universe. Like, I'm going for it. I kind of know what I got to do and I kind of don't, but I also want to have this baby. And so it was like so many things going on at once. So I think it was probably that decision to go for it. And then what were the steps that you took? Because I know that you were working your personal page a lot while we were newer coaches, and then you really shifted to using your like page. Was that kind of a decision you made when you really wanted to expand, or?
Yeah, I'm turning down the baby monitor. Yeah, and just to go back on that, like, I feel like this business is so much of just like trusting and believing without even seeing the end result yet. You just have to say you're going to do it, and you just do it, and you can't overthink it. Mm-hmm. But the transition from my personal page to my like page, I think I always had a like page to start with. And I was kind of going back and forth on personal and like page, just to get a feel for how things were working. And during this time too, like, and this is also really important in this business, the team page is great and personal development is great, but I was constantly like researching social media. I was reading books on social media. I did a couple of social media, like training people. And I was learning to figure out, you know, what to post and what time to post and what was working and who were coming to my page, like what my target audience was. And during that time, I learned that it was better to have a like page because you could measure that better. I mean, for me, that's how it was for me. I could see everything that was happening. I could see what was working because it gives you the stats and everything. And then it had advertising capabilities. You know, you could run ads. Now you can boost posts. And I absolutely do those kind of things too. So I would say I'm pretty much 100% like page now. I'm not really sure what the question was. Was it how did I transfer to a like page?
I don't think it was like a specific question. I just wanted to kind of take it back to when you made that decision and like the steps that you took. I mean, it seemed like a very conscious effort, at least from my standpoint, that you were like, I am now in a very specific niche and I'm gonna use it, you know, and like the like page really helped you with that.
Yeah. Something else I really want to put out there, because like it doesn't happen overnight.
Totally.
And you know, now I can make a post and you know, have people contact me, or you know, because of the following that I've built, it is a little easier to get in there and find people to talk to about the opportunity or joining a challenge group or whatever. But in the beginning, I mean, you had to start somewhere on building your network on your like page. And a lot of the time I see coaches really, really overthink this, and they get so hung up on what they can do to, reach people on Facebook or reach people on Instagram, but you have to reach out to people and message them and talk to them every single day. And that's what I did, and that's how my network started to grow. Even if my conversations didn't get to the challenge group invite or didn't get to the opportunity invite, just that conversation with somebody made me relevant in their life. And so because of that, I stayed consistent with my posts and sharing my story, sharing my pregnancy, my workouts, whatever. And those seeds are being planted. So Facebook says, oh, okay, Megan talked to so-and-so. I'm going to show her posts on her feed, and her friends are going to see it, and their friends are going to see it. So, if you're not making the personal connections, the personal invites, your network's not going to go anywhere.
I'm glad you said that. That was actually one of the questions too. I'm sorry to interject, but
no, you're fine.
Like a couple of people asked, are you still doing those cold messaging? I hate that term, but so would you call them like, hey girls, like we call them hey girls, where you're just
hey girl, how's it going?
Conversation starters where you're just like chatting with people. Do you still do that now, or have you kind of taken a step back from that, or how do you?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have to do them anymore because of the following, and I've tapped into my niche so much that the followers are just quality followers. But it started with the personal the hey girl conversations, definitely, and a lot of them, because it's a non-negotiable for me, and it has been. Well, I didn't hit Success Club my first month as a coach, but my second month as a coach to hit Success Club every single month. So I knew that in order to hit those points, it was going to have to be a lot more than 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said, even if the conversation didn't get to, the challenge group or the opportunity, they always came around because my stuff was appearing on their news feeds because we had that conversation. Because Facebook recognizes that. It's kind of creepy, but
yeah.
And when I would start those conversations, because I know this probably is a question too, I was actually really afraid to directly ask them to join a challenge group or to be a coach. So I would use the referral approach. Hey, we've had a great conversation. It's been great catching up. Just really quick, I am doing this thing this month. I'm looking for 5 women who want to lose 15 pounds before such and such date. Do you happen to know anybody that would be interested in this kind of thing? And usually they would find me people, or they would be like, oh, yeah, me, details, hello. So, it kind of took the awkwardness out of the situation. It helped me not beat around the bush, because I was so afraid to get to the invite that I would just keep talking about oh, where'd you get your shoes? Or how's the weather? It just kept going on. And it's annoying for them too, So the referral approach just made it normal for me. It was a very easy way to ease into it.
So that's how you started your business, was kind of the referral approach. And then, so another big question, I feel like we're skipping ahead, but I think that that's such good tips for newer coaches, really anybody, just you have to be talking to people every single day, stay really committed to at least 3 to 5 people a day, would you say, new conversations?
Yeah, 3 to 5.
And then the referral approach, but then fast forwarding a little bit, because I know that people are like, how does she do it? I mean, you're in the top 10. We know that the top 10 is averaging probably 20 to 30-ish coaches a month. I don't even know. It blows my mind. But how you're getting them started right. You must have a good new coach training group set up. How are you handling GSR calls, getting started right calls? We have some leaders who are really curious about how you're balancing all of that with 3 kids and life and everything.
Yeah, it is kind of all about figuring out a system or using what you already have in place. So it kind of starts with my sneak peek, and I prep them. I talked about it on the wake up call. Like I prep them like they're already coaches. We already talk about hitting Success Club. We talk about going Emerald, setting their expectations and laying their goals out before they're coaches. So they know up front, like, hey, you're going to have to put in the effort if you want to grow this business. Mm-hmm. Something new I've started to do is lay out, pick your path. Are you going to be a discount coach? Are you going to be a hobby coach? Are you going to be an all-in builder? I need to know right now. So that they kind of, they set their goal right there before they're a coach. So it does start with a sneak peek and prepping them for that. And then when they enroll and go through the sneak peek, I have a new coach checklist that kind of just walks them through the very basics of like setting up your websites, like all the stuff you don't want to repeat over and over again in your Get Started Right call. I put that in the new coach checklist, their personal development book, and I do Get Started Right webinars with optional wine. They can bring wine if they want.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty big hit. But so we do Get Started Right webinars in a group so that people ask questions and they learn from those questions. And that happens like the week after the sneak peek. I'll record that, and the people that kind of straggle along through the month, I will give them the recording, and they go from there. I don't really do many training groups anymore. I do have a Coach Basics group that goes for a week that I kind of add people to if they want extra, if they haven't, quite taken in everything from the Get Started Right call. But I let them know, like, this business is jumping in head first. Mm-hmm. You can't overthink it. You just have to do it. And we focus a lot on social media and what they should be posting and what's effective, and, consistency, how many times to post a day, that kind of thing. Because I feel like that's the center of everything is social media. So I focus really heavy on that and not so heavy on, the like personal development, the things that can come later. Mm-hmm. So doing it with 3 kids. My house is a mess. Yeah. I haven't showered in 2 days. I wish I was kidding, but yeah, I mean, I make sure, so I'm not good at balance in that aspect, but I'm good at prioritizing. I know the things I have to get done and out of the way at a certain time. Like, I'm always putting myself on that schedule. And I get it done. I mean, I wake up early. I'm, nursing and like responding to somebody at the same time, and just little bits and pieces throughout the day. I wish I could tell you that I'm such a great like scheduler, but I'm not, but I make sure I get it done. Mm-hmm. During the day, no matter what.
Yeah, I love that. I think it just really boils down to like the decision, and like I said, it's just staying hungry for it. Like, you set that goal a year ago. Like, can you believe it's been a year?
No.
And you stuck with it. It's like it's a daily, but monthly on a bigger scale decision to keep showing up. Like, I want that goal. It's not going to be an instant gratification thing. I'm going to have to put in the work. It's just like our fitness goals, you don't see it the next day. And sometimes, and I mean, maybe not you now with the numbers that you're pulling, but some days we show up and you don't sponsor a coach, or you don't get Success Club points. It doesn't happen every single day, but knowing that at the end of it, the seeds are planted. And if you're doing those consistent things every single day, no excuses, you're going to reap the harvest, So I just love like the power of a decision and deciding, and also setting a date. Cause I mean, I think for top 10, it's definitely a huge decision. It's like a year-long commitment to doing those daily activities. But something like going diamond or, going elite or going premier, those types of things, like there has to be a date on it, because we could easily be like, yeah, I'm going to be, diamond one of these days. It will not happen if you don't put a date on it. And so that's like my top tip for, just being highly effective with hitting goals is putting a date on it, visualizing it, having it on your whiteboard, like writing it on the back of your hand, on your mirror and lipstick, like whatever you have to do where it's just in your face, you're staying hungry for it every single day, because it's not always going to be easy. So it's just that hustle attitude, I guess. But I love that. And you guys, I don't know, for anybody watching, if you're on the computer, I don't know what it looks like on your phones, but for anybody watching on the computer, there's the Q&A bar on the side. So anybody who wasn't in our Diamonds group and maybe wants to pop a question over there, I hope it's set up. If not, I see it. I see the question bar, but I'm not really sure how it works for viewers. So if you have any questions, you can put those over there, or you can tag one of us or something like that. But I think that I want to ask you another question, Megan, just to back up a little bit, because I know that was another question, is your sneak peek groups. But I know that's on your National Wake Up Call. But additionally, how you run ads. I know that I think like pages are, I'm like your polar opposite right now, because I'm going back to my personal page. My like page is not doing well for me. So definitely not throwing in the towel. I've got a great following over there, but my reach is so low. And so for somebody who has tried everything with ads, or at least what we feel like is everything, how do you kind of work an ad? Do you use specific targeting? Does certain times of day or certain days of the week, things like that? Like, what are your top tips with running ads? Not to get all technical, but.
Yeah, so I'm not an expert in this, but I've done a lot of trial and error and a lot of learning. And something I've learned recently, I used to I run ads sometimes, but I boost posts a lot. But I have learned recently running ads that you can actually run, and I don't think I was doing this before, but you can run an ad set, and you're supposed to like kind of put one target in each ad set, and you can see what is doing well, and kind of saving that set and running with it next time, whichever one does pretty well. Another thing I have learned is, I don't know anybody that runs, that has a blog. You can actually place a pixel in your blog and run an ad for your blog, and it'll tell you, how many people are clicking on that. And you can kind of compare the behaviors with that. And I've learned how to do I'm sure I'm like confusing everybody.
Oh, I love it. I think it's good to just like do research. Like you clearly.
Yeah, you have to play around with that stuff. Lookalike audiences is something actually pretty cool. If you use a thing like MailChimp, where your email lists are, or even your Gmail account, you can actually, I don't know how to do it from Gmail, but I know on MailChimp, all the lists I have over there, I can run a report as like a Excel file or something, and then upload it to Facebook for a lookalike audience. And it will take all the email addresses and, hold on, let me think about this. I'm going to screw it up. It basically like targets them somehow so that whenever they log on to Facebook, the ad appears. Like the people that you've come in contact with before, you can just target them. So like, let's say someone applied to my sneak peek group, and they never did anything with it. They never showed up. You know, went MIA. My ad will target them and pop up on their newsfeed because of the lookalike audience option.
That's smart. That actually rings a bell. Do you follow like Amy Porterfield? Okay, so you guys watching, if you're wanting to just kind of start your very first research on running ads, Amy Porterfield actually did a podcast on something like that. So I kind of know what you're talking about, Megan. And it's so interesting. And it's actually how, like, let's say you're hosting an event, like let's call it a Super Saturday, and somebody clicked on the link to go look at the event, but they didn't buy their ticket. It's actually, Facebook is actually so smart to be able to track like who didn't actually go and buy the thing. So you can actually like retarget. And so that's really interesting.
Retargeting. That's the other thing.
Yeah. So you guys could Google like retargeting for Facebook ads and really get creative and really get specific with your niche. I mean, the little bit that I've done, I definitely, you know, had my fair share of running ads too. It's just trial and error. It's just like really trying something. Oh, that didn't work so well. You know, I'm going to try this now. So it's not like, I guess it's just all perspective, because I've had some ads and posts just completely flop, and then some others that I'm like, all right, well, that did pretty well. So it's really just like trying new things. And if that doesn't work, then you try something else. If that doesn't work, you try something else. And that's how you get to Megan Ewoldsen status on your Facebook like page. So that is really great advice. Do you have any other like just like beginner type tips, like setting up your like page?
Along the same lines as advertising and boosting posts, whenever I do a challenge group invite, a lot of the time I'll just post it to the top of my page, and I'll boost the posts that I know do well. Like my videos always do very well. So I'll boost those, and I'll mention something about my challenge group that's pinned on my page so that the reach is more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's smart. So then the people coming to your page are going to see that highlighted post at the top. Is that
right? Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of the time you can't boost, like if we want to put some words on our image, they won't boost it or run ads for it or anything. So if you can get around that by boosting the posts that you know do well and mention it in the text, then they'll visit your page, and since you've boosted it, other people are going to see it too. What else do I do?
I know with those two, sorry, just like side note that I kind of picked up on, I've read that sponsoring your page, I don't know if you do like clicks for likes or stuff like that, but I've read little bits about how that's actually not really necessary if you're running really good ads, like your actual posts that are boosted are generating enough traffic where you're actually going to get page likes and new followers anyway. So really like sponsoring your page, because I know I see a lot of coaches like my page for fitness and nutrition tips. If you're running really great ads where it's more of like actual valuable content, people are going to like your page anyway. You don't really need to spend the money on sponsoring your page. Just focus on really good content.
For sure. Yeah, that's huge. And then again, you know, going like if you're just starting a like page, going back to what I said earlier, you have to spend time talking to people to build that network. I would spend time, you know, doing a little bit of that, your 3 to 5 conversations, and then a little bit of running ads and boosting posts, and always post, you know, consistently every day, 2 to 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And make sure it's not just the product. You know, you're trying to market yourself, because everybody and their brother is a Beachbody coach, but not everybody is you know? And people are looking for you. They're looking for your struggles. They're looking for just things that can relate to them. So, I feel like we overthink that part so much, and you don't have to, because just look around. It's like your daily life. Like, I don't know, my kid threw up the other night. Like, I don't understand,
Yeah.
or like you leak on yourself because you're lactating in church. I mean, that started a huge conversation. Who knew?
Yeah, and people just want to see that you're human and that like silly things happen to you too. I feel like they want to see that more than they want to see like your abs and like your challenge group ads and stuff like that. You know, I mean, that for everybody, they just want to know about you. Because like I said, people are just nosy.
Yeah, they are. It's totally.
Yeah. So last question, because I don't want to keep you too long. And then if you can think of anything you want to ask me, because I know you've got yours on too. But for the person just starting out on a like page and you're talking about contacting people and building those relationships, how do you do that? Do you bring them over to your personal page and then start the one-on-one conversation? Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know that's uncomfortable for a lot of people because, you know, personal page, that's your life, that's your kids and all that. But I used the restricted list and just kind of got a feel for who I was talking to. And I do it that way. I do a lot of emailing too. And I'll put it right there in the comment on my like page. Hey, you know, if you're interested in this, you know, email me at fitmamae@gmail.com. And that way everybody else is seeing what we're talking about in the comments. And they're saying, well, I want to learn more about Shakeology, or I want to learn more about this 21-day container thing. And I just put it out there on how to contact me, how to email me. And I usually get that person and maybe 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, that's smart. I feel like you can have like really great content on social media. Any coaches can have great content, but if you're not giving somebody like an action step, like what do I do with this information? It doesn't have to be like fill out this application or like comment below for more, you know, blah, blah, blah. But like just dropping your email. If you have questions, here's how to contact me, because some people don't know what to do with it, or they don't want to comment on the post because about Facebook too. So just kind of opening those doors for other contact, I think is huge also. So
yeah, for sure. Or even leaving a link to your blog, or just different, you know, a separate way to get a hold of you.
For sure.
Information.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the bottom line, like obviously what you've done is just, you really made the decision and you put in the work. I mean, it's not easy. You know, building a business from the ground up is essentially what we're all doing here. And it's hard work. You know, I never want to set the expectation that, oh, you know, in a year you'll be a 6-figure earner. Like Megan did that and I did that because we worked our butts off. And, you know, you have to show up every day, and it's not always easy and it's not always glamorous. And so really just making that decision to go all in and stay committed, especially this time of year, you guys, like mark my words, everyone listening, if you can make it through these months and not just coast by and like take a step back and not be as present on social media, but like go even harder, be better, like take it up a notch, do more personal development, work out more. You're gonna get the prize at the end of the tunnel in January. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
That reminds me, just really quick. So I've wanted to give up, no matter what level I am or was, I've wanted to give up this time of year every year. And yes, including this year. September, October is like always rough. It just always is. It doesn't matter what level. And something I wanted to mention earlier, just making sure I stay accountable to showing up every day, is getting yourself a success partner or like a push partner. I work with Carrie Legault, and I mean, she is the one that like virtually backhands me every September when I'm like, Carrie, I can't do it. She's like, shut up. Yes, you can. Just having her there and knowing that, you know, I'm not building this business alone. I'm not alone in the struggles that come with building a business. Just having a sounding board, and you know, your team is there too. But I think it's great to find a push partner, a success partner, to just, I don't know, connect with someone on more of a personal level.
I do too. Yeah. you have your upline coach and you have your coaches that you sponsor and stuff like that, but it's like that one person, because otherwise, honestly, it's too easy to quit.
It is
all the time. If you're in this together, it's really hard to quit. Like if one of you goes or is wanting to go, the other one's gonna pull you back and virtually backhand you, like Megan said.
Yeah.
If you're alone, it's like you can kind of feel that. Yeah. If you're all alone, you can kind of feel that it's easier to just slip out. Like, oh, this is hard. I'm gonna go. No one's even gonna notice. So have that insurance policy for your business to make sure you get through, and really dig deep together, and not just like on the business level, but like have that person seek out like a dating ad or something like that. I really love long walks on the beach, and my favorite color is purple. Like
your beachbody marriage.
Yes, I mean, like you have to find that person to keep you on track and just keep it light, because it's so helpful. So I'm so glad you said that, Megan, because we talk about accountability partners, but I feel like newer coaches, even just a couple months in, like they might not have their person yet. So go find, like, don't be scared. Everybody's looking for somebody. Everybody wants friends, and even have a group thread. Like that's fun too. So anyway, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, she's messaging me now. She's like, virtual backhand, really? Okay, more like a little tap, like a love tap.
A love tap. There you go. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you guys too long. I am so thankful, Megan, that you jumped on with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was just such a pleasure. I feel like I could pick your brain forever. And if you guys have more questions for Megan after we get off tonight, just let me know and I'll make her answer me later and I'll deliver the goods. But we just appreciate your time. I know you have 3 kids, and
it's been nice. My husband's upstairs with him right now. I'm really tempted to just kind of hang around.
So
it's so quiet down here. Yeah. So quiet.
So good. Well, enjoy. Maybe just stay in there and like.
I think I will.
All right. Thank you so much. And you guys, everybody who tuned in tonight, thank you so much. The recording will be right up on my YouTube channel. So I appreciate you giving us your time tonight, and we hope that you got lots out of it. And have a good night. Happy November.
Thanks.